Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar warned Trump that countries which set up barriers to hinder the free flow of talent will become net losers. He was clearly referring to the Trump administration tightening H1B visas. My goddess Palki Sharma did a special report on this and pointed out in her show that more than 70% of H1B visa quotas go to Indians. Outstanding Indian talent has sustained Silicon Valley prosperity and propped up the entire U.S. tech industry. Yet now the Trump administration wants to restrict Indian visas in the name of protecting local job opportunities. This is undoubtedly an act of self-harm. Actually, I have talked many times in my previous videos about Indian talent. They love to brag, steal credit from colleagues, excel at flattery, and make their presence strongly felt in teams. Yes, they can monopolize most positions in companies by helping each other, but that does not make tech companies stronger. On the contrary, because Indians love to boast and fake results, the U.S. tech industry has suffered a devastating blow. Before Indians took over Silicon Valley, U.S. technology led China by more than 30 years. 20 years after large numbers of Indians poured into Silicon Valley, China has almost completely caught up with the United States in technology. The very few fields where the United States still leads, such as chips and AI, are all supported by Chinese talent. Yes, the critical lifelines of American technology that can still hold back China's catch-up pace. Companies like NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, and TSMC are all led by Chinese people. I have to say that Indian CEOs are good at making reports, but they have made no major contribution to maintaining U.S. technological leadership. Under the dominance of Indian engineers, the systems Microsoft produces give users a constipated feeling. My Windows 11 takes up 10 gigabytes of memory just to open a browser after booting. When I am deeply engaged in video editing, my mouse freezes and the only solution is to restart the computer. Yes, friends, this is the masterpiece of Indian engineers. They have turned almost everything beautiful into shit. My beloved World of Warcraft and Diablo have all been ruined by them. If the United States tightens H1B visas and only loses Indian engineers, I would say this is absolutely a great thing for America. I remember an Indian netizen proudly commented under my video that Indians rule Silicon Valley because white people's IQ is too low and they copied his math homework starting from middle school. This is not made up. You can find it in my video from a few months ago where I took a screenshot. It should be in the India playlist. My reply to him at the time was, we Chinese programmers benefit most from open source projects. Whether it is Linux, GNU, FFmpeg, or WebKit, almost all of them are led by white engineers. These white engineers may not be as good at bragging as you Indians, so they were driven out of big companies by you, but their IQ is definitely much higher than yours. In fact, according to international statistics, the per capita IQ of your Bharat Empire is far lower than that of Americans and even 2 tiers below East Asian countries. You can Google it yourself before deciding whether to show off your intelligence. Your great Indian engineers cannot create any valuable software in India itself. Your presence in the global technology field is zero. After you entered Silicon Valley and inherited all the great projects built by white engineers, you turned them into shit and then boasted that your IQ is higher than white people. Don't you feel ashamed? When white people invented the modern computer, you Indians were still planting sugarcane under the whips of your British masters. I can understand that you are proud of Indian CEOs, but who gave you the courage to think your intelligence is higher than other nations? If you Indians were smart enough, why can't you stay in India and turn your country from a shithole into a normal modern nation? You don't even love your own country, yet you expect Americans to let you in and believe you will love America? I want to ask those 2 clowns Palki and Jaishankar to answer this. You always claim India is a superpower that can stand up to China and the United States. Palki has mocked Trump on her show and listed historical cases of America bullying India. Since America is so evil, why do your Indian talents still want to go build America? Trump has repeatedly stated publicly that Pakistan shot down 8 Indian fighter jets in air combat and that he would impose 50% tariffs on India. People like Besant say India is unimportant and not a major global player. Faced with such a bully country, shouldn't your best response be to ban Indian talent from going to the United States? Why does Palki brag on her show that IIT graduates receive tons of offers from major American companies? Why does she release two completely contradictory reports just one day apart? Is the United States welcoming Indian talent or rejecting it? Can you give a consistent statement? Let me tell Indian people the cruel truth. The quality of your talent is very poor. You are good at bragging, scamming, and exaggerating achievements, but you cannot create real value. Look at your Indian defense industry: Vikrant aircraft carrier, Arjun tank, Tejas fighter jet, Dhruv helicopter, Insas rifle, Agni missile. Which one is not industrial garbage? India has still failed to complete industrialization to this day. Isn't that because your talent has no practical ability and can only brag? I hope you won't argue with me. Just stay in India and let Americans cry over losing your outstanding talent. Let's see if the United States will collapse because it missed out on Indian engineers. Use your wisdom to build India well. Get rid of the title of the dirtiest country on earth. Clean your streets. Clean up the Ganges. First enjoy basic human living dignity like normal people, and then come save American tech industry. We Chinese have Huawei, DJI, BYD, DeepSeek, Unitree, Insta360, Tencent, Alibaba, TikTok, and a huge list of world-famous companies. What does India have? Americans gave you 20 years of opportunity. What have you brought to America? American technological hegemony is about to collapse, yet you are still bragging. Is the word shame really not in your dictionary? By the way, I want to tell you that the very person who complained to Trump that Microsoft and Google hired too many Indians is your Indian son-in-law Vance. This guy himself has a whole bunch of Indian relatives, yet he goes to his boss to snitch that Indians are stealing American jobs. Just look at what kind of friends you Indians have. There is an old Chinese saying, "Birds of a feather flock together." It means good people associate with good people, and bad people gather with bad people. You can figure that out yourselves.